friends, my name is Morgan. Welcome to Compass Rose Astrology. Today we're going to be going through our new Celestial Sunday discussion. We're going to be going from today, October 2nd, to the end of the week, where we talk about all the different energies and aspects and all the planetary effects that you may or may not experience. If you find this video helpful, if you have any experiences that you want to share, feel free to like or subscribe. I'd love to hear any of your comments as well about things that you experienced this week. Sometimes it's kind of fun to go back and rewatch these videos, see if you did actually experience any of these energies, and I'd love to hear any of your stories, see if anything resonated with you, honestly. So feel free to grab a coffee or a tea, sit back and really soak in all these planetary energies, because kind of, boy, are they heavy this week. We have a lot of Pluto transits happening. To kind of put this into perspective, like a real life example, imagine you had a perfect workout regimen and you ended up getting hurt like a couple, let's say a month ago, and you were trying to heal up, maybe do different types of workouts, and recently you're just realizing that it's really not working for you. You love cardio, high intensity workouts, and you're trying to heal, so you've been doing like maybe, let's say, a lot of yoga or Pilates or something that are really low impact, but you're fed up with it. It's just not enough for you, right? So this week, maybe midweek, you're realizing that you still haven't healed though. Like, you might try and do a cardio workout, and then maybe you end up hurting your knee again or something, and you realize that you just haven't healed up enough to do what you really want to do. And so you have to, by the end of the week, you have to reassess, and you have to go ahead and see, like, maybe I have to incorporate both, like do more stretching maybe, or maybe you actually have to go to physical therapy or something. But basically the theme is that you have to have a good foundation to do the things that you want. This starts out with kind of a bang today on Sunday, October 2nd, where Mercury is going to be stationing direct in Virgo. Stationing direct is when a planet visually, from our perspective here on Earth, appears as if it's slowing down and stops, and it's just not moving in the sky. And stationing, that's stationing. And so stationing direct is when it's going to eventually, after it appears to have stopped, go in the right primary direction around the sun. That means it's heading in the direction that it wants to be going in from our perspective, instead of going retrograde, which is like backwards, right? So when a planet stations, usually that means things need to be re-examined in your life, or maybe you have to rearrange or reconsider something that has been going on for you. Especially with Mercury in Virgo, this may appear for you in a way that maybe a conversation needs to be revisited. Maybe you aren't happy with an outcome of something, or something's just not working out for you right now. Like, to go back to our real life example, maybe it was like your workout's just not working out for you. You really want to do the kind of workouts that you love, and you just haven't been able to. So you kind of need to revisit it. I think the thing that would help you the most right now is to see where Virgo lands in your chart and see which house that is. That's going to have a lot of the themes about what you're revisiting right now. You could be revisiting a topic, especially that has, ever since Mercury went retrograde on September 9th. So it could be a topic that's been around for about the last 3 weeks, you know. Maybe something started shifting or changing at the beginning of September, and now you're kind of revisiting that again as if, is this really the way it should be? Is this really what you want? Then on Monday, October 3rd, we're going to have the moon conjunct Pluto in Capricorn. And thankfully, this is a really short transit, because the moon is really, really quick, and any aspects it makes are very fast. But it is an important aspect that highlights the moon really, really strongly. So not only is it conjunct Pluto in Capricorn, but after this conjunction, it's going to be running in the void, or void of course. I did a short Twitter post about this configuration, but essentially what this means is that the moon, after this conjunction, makes no aspects for a full 30 degrees, according to traditional ancient astrology. So whatever themes that this aspect brings up will kind of hover in the air around until the moon trines Venus, which is the next configuration it's going to make on Tuesday. And then it will be going void again on Wednesday and Thursday of this week. So just to kind of keep that in mind. But essentially what void of course, or running in the void means is that when the moon makes no configuration to any planet, it makes it hard for anything to be successful that started within that time. In traditional ancient astrology, it is known to be an aspect or a configuration or lack of that prevents success. It prevents productivity. It basically says don't try to start anything too ambitious right now. It usually foretells unsuccessful ventures and difficulty in progressing. So if anything feels overwhelmingly stuck, it's because of this lack of an aspect. With the Pluto aspect happening before the void, of course, or the running in the void, this brings in a really heavy feeling of just a disappointment. If you feel like everything is kind of falling apart and you have no control over it, that is natural. Pluto tends to knock things over so that you may build again, so don't be too discouraged. Perhaps the cosmos is just saying right now that this just isn't the time, but keep dreaming and keep trying, especially with this nice aspect that's coming after the void. The emotions that you feel during this time really could be really intense, but fleeting, kind of like the moon, you know? It's a really quick moving planet. With Pluto, it'll really amplify how you feel, especially, but it will pass, don't worry. And also allow yourself to kind of dig deep. Pluto wants you to. It'll allow you to dig deep to see where these like feelings are coming from if you are feeling really down and really stuck and really lost. Do you feel like you're just not going in the right direction? Are you not sure that you're going in the right direction? Are you feeling unsupported emotionally? Do you feel like you will never succeed? These are all really heavy Capricorn themes. So kind of try to pay attention to that, because that might be what's going through your head on these couple of days while the moon is void. On Thursday, October 6th, we're going to have Mercury in Virgo finally going direct, hooray! But it's trining Pluto in Capricorn. Again, another Pluto transit. It's just coming on heavy this week, honestly. So with Mercury trining this deep thinking planet, you may have the guts to finally voice something that has been bothering you, honestly. This isn't a new transit. This might sound really familiar to you. We've actually had Mercury trine Pluto back on September 27th. So you may be wanting to talk about any of the deep thinking that you began around then, or that may have come up because of this recent Moon-Pluto transit. Because it's Mercury, and Mercury is the planet of communication, technology, wisdom, intelligence, just any sort of spoken or written way to communicate, you might be putting your words into something like some sort of media. You might be wanting to write a memoir, or you might dictate something, some sort of notes. And honestly, it might be completely out of left field. This might be something your personality or your character kind of didn't fully align with, like, traditionally. And this might be a new inspiration for you, honestly. But maybe you're finally having the courage to talk about something that you didn't have the courage to talk about before. Mercury is allowing you to actually dive into the details of the things that maybe you didn't really want to talk about before. And Pluto's grabbing that shovel and he's like, all right, we're gonna go super deep on this. Let's get at it. And finally, our last Pluto aspect of the week, we have Saturday, October 8th. Pluto is stationing direct in Capricorn. And I just want to say, finally, my lovely Capricorn friends, my lovely souls out there, this has been a wild ride for you so far. I'd say anybody with a Capricorn sun or rising or even a moon for sure, has just been going through it. Pluto's been in Capricorn since November 2008. We've had our share of retrogrades since then, but so we're probably a little used to it by now. But this is finally the stationing that will actually allow Pluto to go out of Capricorn and into Aquarius. We're headed there, guys, finally. So it's not going to be in Aquarius for long. It is going to station retrograde and move back into Capricorn. But this is the beginning of a yo-yoing back and forth between Pluto and Aquarius and Capricorn. Then finally in November 2024, Pluto is going to be in Aquarius, and it will be for the next 20 years, guys. 20 years. Either way, Pluto stationing and Capricorn will give you some kind of Capricorn themes that you've been experiencing in life. Either way, Pluto stationing in Capricorn will definitely bring up some Capricorn themes. You know, if we haven't experienced enough of that over the last 14 years, there might be a really deep thinking, a lot of maybe some deep sadness coming up around now. Perhaps you feel as if you haven't been able to achieve the things that you put your heart into. It could be kind of some disappointment because Capricorn is a sign that's really hard on themselves. So try not to be too hard on yourself. But stationing direct can really allow Pluto to force you to re-examine some things that you might not want to be looking at, and that might inspire some sadness and some disappointment, maybe even some shame and guilt in you. But maybe it could be just that you need to take a deeper look at what isn't working and how to fix it. And it's your last chance too for these Capricorn themes. So you really need a good, strong foundation, and Pluto is forcing you to look at that, honestly. So maybe you've been putting too much on your plate and kind of need to take some things away. Maybe you need to approach your goals with kind of smaller steps rather than big, grandiose waves and changes that you want to do. Maybe it has to be more of a day-to-day kind of a approach rather than a big life-changing sweep. If we're going back to some of the examples I've shared throughout this video, if it is a workout change, maybe you're trying to go from nothing to too much. You know, maybe you should do the couch to 5K instead of trying to run a marathon right away. Maybe you have finally decided that it's time to go to therapy because maybe there's some like grief or loss themes that are pretty prevalent in your life that you haven't wanted to look at or haven't wanted to like delve into. You need to take this moment to actually look at the foundation of the things in your life and make sure it is really reinforced and stable. If not, Pluto's going to continue to destroy that over the next few years until it finally heads into Aquarius. So it could be a really long 2 years. Make sure you take the opportunity to make the changes that you need to make that might be able to build a better foundation over the next couple years before we feel Pluto in Aquarius. Then on Sunday, October 9th, we have a full moon in Aries. Hooray! Let's get away from this Pluto transit and aspect stuff. Ugh. So Aries thrives with this full moon, brilliance and illuminations, and just this feeling of activity and dedication. Success will totally come over you. I think it's actually going to be a mixture of all the Capricorn influence with Aries, which they're both very like successful oriented kind of signs, but Aries, and they're both mutable too, you know, like they're both very happy with initiating things, starting new things, but this is a full moon in Aries, so we're going to have a lot of that really heavy fire energy, that desire to succeed and continue. But with a full moon, it's kind of a culminating. So I think Aries is going to allow you to take a look at all the really heavy aspects of this week. It's going to allow you to take them and just run with them. Aries is like, all right, I get it. Now what can I do? Now what can I start? You'll kind of be inspired to take a devil may care approach here. But the ultimate goal is going to be success and happiness and abundance. There's nothing that's going to get in your way here. Even if you feel like whatever you're doing has never been done before and you have no idea how to approach it, I think that Aries is going to see the results of this week and be like, okay, I got it. I understand. But now I gotta move forward. So you've gone through this past moon cycle learning a lot from Pluto, and this is the day that Aries allows you to just say goodbye, wave, see Pluto in the mirror, and just keep on going forward. I hope some of these transits and aspects in this kind of discussion helps you plan for the coming week. And if you have any further insights or experiences that you want to share with me, I'd love to hear about them in the comments. And I will talk to you in our next video. Thanks, everyone. Bye.